Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage, and I want to talk to you about what a crazy week it was from a personal standpoint. Yes, I'll get to the 72 454 engine that I'm working on, and yes, I'll get to the Impala, a couple stories there, but most of all, I want to thank God that my wife is still here. You know, she'd been down to Florida helping out with her family for the past 3.5 weeks, and she finally came home on Monday. And I'm working at the Guardians game. A lot of you guys know I'm doing ushering service down there and having a lot of fun doing that. And she came home while I was at the game. Well, she was home for about an hour, and she started getting chest pains. And you know, she'd been driving for two days coming back from Florida, and she didn't know what was going on, and she knew I was at the game and I wouldn't be able to get out to her, and she didn't want to call an ambulance, so she put herself in her car and took herself to the hospital. And after about 3 or so days in the hospital, she didn't have a heart attack, but they figured her chest pains were coming from her liver enzymes were way up, causing her gallbladder to actually swell up to give her like a feeling like you would have a heart attack. So it took them a while to figure out what was going on, and they were talking about taking her gallbladder out and surgery, and she really responded very well to the antibiotics. And you know, like I say, thank God she's home now, and she's kind of feeling back to normal. So she's off to see some follow-up appointments this week. But thank goodness we got her back, and maybe Meldrum's Monster Garage can calm down a little bit, get back to making videos here, and bringing you some Chevrolet knowledge. So I mainly do this for my family because I know my family watches these videos, and kind of give them some insight of what was going on, so I don't have to type out a big email. So anyway, that's what's going on with Patty. Like I say, she's feeling a lot better. We went shopping today, and she actually went to work last 2 days. She works at the Hallmark store. So yeah, we got our retirement jobs, and we're loving it. We're doing things that we always wanted to do, but just never got around to. So she's happy working at Hallmark. I'm working with the Guardians, with baseball. Finally made it to Major League Baseball. We're working on cars. We're working at the coin shop. So very happy. Anyway, enough of that. I want to talk to you about the engine. I haven't had too much time to work on it because I've been so busy with baseball. But the Guardians are out of town. They played the White Sox this weekend. They're traveling to play the Rangers out in Texas, and they'll be back on Friday. So I got some time to spend on my own stuff right now this week, and kind of catch up with this engine project. It's a lot of elbow grease, taking things apart, inspecting things, cleaning things, you know, sanding things, all sorts of stuff like that. I did take the exhaust manifolds off, and I took them to a company called Advanced Paint Technology in Cleveland, and we've used these guys on a few projects now. They do a fabulous job with these exhaust manifolds, and it's basically a ceramic paint, and it holds up very nicely. Another very, you know, this car's rare. I'm gonna tell you how rare it is, but this is a very rare piece that you usually rusted off the car, and it's a heat riser, and it grabs heat off of the exhaust manifold, and it basically goes over top of the exhaust manifold like this, and of course this goes up into the air cleaner. So we'll get this painted a high temperature black, and we'll get this put on here so it stays on there nicely. These are really hard to find. People are willing to pay up to $1,000 for this assembly. It's a two-piece assembly. I mean, it's just crazy. So we'll get that on the car. Put it down. We did get out and work on the Impala this week. I was all set to bring you a big video on installing the front windshield and the back glass on that car. And we looked at the glass. We weren't too happy with it and decided to order some new pieces. There's just too deep of scratches in there. And after talking to Mike from the glass company, he said, I can polish that out, but when the wipers wipe over that, it's going to be like a big gully, and the wipers will actually leave a, it won't wipe the whole windshield because of that gully. That's how deep the scratches were. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. Let me see what else. I'm going to talk a little bit about this 72 Chevelle. I've got my poster out here, and we're going to talk about how rare this car is. So hang on, let me reposition the video here. So this is a poster I've had for a really long time. It talks about production totals. Some of the numbers are actual, some of the numbers are statistically calculated. So you know, if you look at the 1970 Chevelle, and if you start talking about convertibles here, let's see if I can find this real quick. Okay, here's a convertible with ZL2 cowl induction, and if you go across to here, it actually gives numbers. And with a manual transmission, okay, the LS6 motor, they made 28 of these cars, okay, and there's some other convertible numbers, LS5, manual, automatic, but very, very low production in 1970 for 454 convertibles. But by the time we got to 1972, we even get more rare. We love using that word at Meldrum's Monster Garage. And I'm gonna go in close to the convertible. Okay, so here we are, Chevelle two-door convertible, SS, Z15, ZL2 cowl induction, and if you roll all the way over to here and you get to the LS5 motor with manual transmission, and you're going to see they only made 15 of those. 15 manual, 23 automatic. So even more rare than the 1970 LS6 car. Of course, this is an LS5. But I've ran a registry for these cars for years, trying to track them down. I've only tracked down 30 total, manual and automatic. So very, very rare car we're looking at here. And to have the original motor, I think is just, that's just nutso. So yeah, and we got the original motor here, and you can see it's stamped. Now there are some replacement parts on this engine, but for the most part, the heads and the intake manifold all date coded to the car, which would be May of 1972. Heads are original, intake manifold is original to the car, and let me see what else. The exhaust manifolds are not original to the car. They're not the ones I originally got, but they are date coded. And then the smog system had been taken off, and they put regular exhaust manifolds on. Of course, the smog exhaust manifolds will have the holes for the air pump tube. So I went ahead and got that. Like I say, that's a date-coded system sitting over there on the bench. There's all my pulleys and whatnot that need to get cleaned up. So, like I say, I just wanted to talk about how rare this car is. And I just can't wait to get it back together and get it all spiffed up and looking nice again. My other thing is I want to thank the folks, and Bob P., I don't know his last name yet, but I'll find out, at Extreme Cars and Bikes did a wonderful, wonderful write-up on their Facebook page and their web page on the 1966 Malibu that we pulled out of Parma and ended up putting an L99 2012 Camaro motor in. So thank you very much for the accolades there. You wrote up a beautiful story based on what I said in the video. And if you're interested in that car, it was really cool. I called it Aquaman, and had that car for a few years, and we transitioned it from a straight six cylinder, got that up and running, and then we went ahead and transitioned it to a L99 2012 Camaro motor, and I've got that all documented very well on Meldrum Sponsor Garage. So like, subscribe. Thanks a lot to all my fans, and I promise we'll get back out in the garage this week and bring you a little more than I have been lately. So see ya.